When I said squirt AMA, I didn't mean go get a big old squirt of something on your shirt that looks like a questionable liquid that we can't say the word of. Look, shame.
Shame?
Shame. Hello! Welcome back to
What's Safeword?
I'm Amp.
I'm Mr. Kristofer.
And today,
I'm ready to get to work.
what kind of work?
How much can you afford? What do you want to see?
All great questions to ask someone who's doing work, I suppose. Today we're doing a work AMA. We usually do these every year where you guys have questions about work, media, pop culture, or just how it works into our world of ever-changing policies and guidelines that try to attack anything adult.
So, and from my perspective, I've been doing it for 35 years. How it's delivered, how people consume it, there are some elements that don't change and a lot of elements that do.
Case in point, a lot of today's questions are coming straight from Bluesky, which is a place that a lot of workers have moved because of regulations, age restrictions, and how platforms have shifted. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Let's talk about that work and let's answer all your questions. But look out, because I'm gonna flip it around every once in a while.
And reverse it?
Because I've got some questions for you guys as well, which I've also put on Bluesky, so make sure you follow us on our socials if you want to get involved in these conversations. But without further ado, run that title card. And today's first question starts from Chris, who says, I've always been curious about the audition process. Like, I see vids on people's auditioning, in quotes, but I don't know if it's real or not. Like, what are the requirements to get into film? What should you have on your resume?
Okay.
As somebody who used to cast people.
Being a director for 30 years, I can tell you right now the audition process is not a thing. we put out audition tapes as basically back then would be called clickbait now to get you to buy VHS tapes. It looked amateurish.
Well, and then there was also like the casting couch trope, and sometimes it was a trope, but other times it was like part of the process, I guess. And we'll talk about like studio work versus fan content as well today, but back in my day, there was only studios. And so I would have to send in photos, front, side, back. And I do recall I was getting asked for like feet pics, like the bottom of your sole and your nails. They were always very meticulous about making sure you got a mani-pedi before them too.
That's odd, I never required that. But basically, to be able to do porn, you need 2 of 3 things. Good face, good body, or a good dick.
No, add a fourth one though, or a butt. Butts get a long way. Butts will get you a long way.
Dick/butt.
Please don't slash my dick or my butt, thank you.
It's like a Babadook, but a dick.
Honestly, the only requirements that you really need are you're of legal age, you got an ID, and you've gotten tested recently. They usually ask for testing now.
No.
Which leads us to our next question, actually, from Mischief, who says, I suppose if it's worth going through a studio or doing an independent venture on OnlyFans or just for fans, or even both. And what they mean is it even worth trying to work with studios anymore? If studios are still around?
Yeah, I was gonna say, which studios are you talking about? Because there aren't very many left. However, yes, it is, especially if you are trying to create a footprint in your own fan site, the studios promote you a lot more than you can on your own.
And it looks good on a quote unquote resume that really doesn't exist. Honestly, producers back then and like the talent scouts would just make sure you haven't said anything too problematic, that you're sexy, and that you like post on social media anymore. Like that was the only thing they ever asked me to do or make sure I was doing.
Yeah, no, the studios want you. They want to leech off of your following. So they will, if you have a high numbers, they want you.
But that's why it's better to just do your independent content, and it gives you more freedom.
When people are doing it and they're constantly breaking the fourth wall and looking at the camera as they're fucking, don't do that.
Oh, well, sure. But do check out today's sponsor, which is what I'm gonna do. This is a sponsor off instruction. A soy.
With today's sponsor, Beducated, the #1 online platform for sexual health and happiness. While we might be experts on everything sex and porn, sometimes even I need a little bit of help in the bedroom with new ideas, and as an autodidact, Beducated is where I can teach myself everything I want to know easily and quickly. Now, Beducated is the #1 online platform for sexual health and happiness and offers a unique library of over 50 different instructors and over 100 different courses where you can finally learn everything you need to know about sex, no matter your age, gender, sexual orientation, or sexual experience. And the easiest part about Beducated, you know you want to learn something new, but you don't know where to start? They have a wonderful test that gives you the power to tell them what you're looking to do or get out of Beducated itself, by yourself, or even with a partner. Are you looking to have more sex, spice it up in the bedroom, or just learn some new skills? Beducated's got you covered. They'll give you a list of really useful classes or things that might be up your alley, and you can easily weed out the ones you're not interested in or find some even deeper topics from there. After I took the test, I did end up checking out a few classes that I really enjoyed and ended up learning some new terminology as well as a bit of a different approach to things like taboo kinks, and even learning about working kink into your relationship in different ways. What I love about these classes is they give you an outline, they give you the chapters of every class, they make it easy to follow, but also already answer the questions that you had before you even entered into the classroom. And that's not all. They've got navigating non-monogamy, lap dancing for beginners, erotic spanking, fisting, sex experiments for couples, as well as plenty of rope-related enthusiast classes that you can get into if you're looking to get into some shibari. So here's your reminder to never stop learning, no matter where you are on your sexual adventures, whether you're teaching sex education on YouTube or you're just getting your feet wet in the kink community. Try out Beducated today and use our link down below or the QR code on screen right now to watch high quality videos from the comfort of your own bed or wherever you find yourself. Again, try out Beducated down below in the link or the QR code on screen to educate yourself no matter where you are on your journey. Thank you, Beducated.
This next one comes from Icky Ricky, and
Icky Ricky would be a great porn name.
okay, wait. Did you always follow Ricky Holt? What were some of your favorite names from back in the day, though?
Well, Jeff Stryker.
Classic.
That was a good one. I like Josh Weston. I took his last name for my director name.
Snatched.
Matthew Rush.
Oh.
Tyler Rush. He had a good butt.
But regardless, Ricky asked, my question is, who the hell pays for porn and or fan content anymore? There's so much of it out there for free. I get that OnlyFans can cater to niches and can trade off the whole parasocial thing, but there must be more to it than that, right? Honestly, I find that most people online just want to support their niche content creators or people that they really connect with online.
Well, actually, that's a really good point, and that is how content has changed. We used to, in the studio system, put out this fantasy of who the people are, which wasn't necessarily what they really were like. Nowadays, people follow people on fan sites to follow their personalities.
Well, even back then, though, when I was getting started in studio stuff, they would always be like, okay, put your phones away. Some of them would put tape over your phone cameras.
You couldn't record anything.
But not because we were trying to film the scene fully, but we wanted to take behind the scenes photos or pictures.
Not allowed.
And some studios were like, eh.
No.
But as I worked through the system, slowly you saw some studios would be okay with, King.com was always let's have fun,
Because they had no choice. Too many people were doing it, and then they were also, that's free publicity. But to your point is, yeah, the market is flooded now because everyone has an iPhone in their pocket and can create content. In the 90s, the studio was the only place that could create content. So there's so much free porn, and it put the studios under.
Well, let's talk about that though, because I don't honestly dislike that the studios have kind of gone under a little bit. It's encouraged them to be a bit more creative, the studios, but also it makes this market where people can create the stuff they want. They're not held back by arbitrary laws or anti-sodomy bullshit, and they're able to just do what they want because they really love it.
I love it.
No, it actually, the fan system was a good thing because it did put the control of the imagery into the model's hand for once. However, I believe the studio system put more money into the productions and gave you a better looking product. And back then, lots of people hated the storyline and would tell us, just get to the sex. Now people crave storyline because you don't get that anymore.
I'm still waiting for my pizza.
Not in front of my salad.
Okay, but I liked the camp meme culture that came with some of the porn stuff.
And there was parody porn of mainstream movies all the time. It was great.
What are you doing down here?
I woke up because I heard it in the night.
It was novelty porn.
Yeah, which leads us to Kifu, who asks, so how does someone become successful with sex work? I've been trying to do it for years.
I mean, that's so arbitrary. What would be successful for you in sex work?
If I'm able to pay my bills, if I'm able to get enough sleep, if I'm having fun, if I'm enjoying my job. And yeah, it is a job and you're answering emails and messages and editing probably most of the time. But when you're done with that edit, you want to be happy about it. If you're doing it and you're not having a good time, why are you doing it?
So I guess I'm going back to the original question, which is success measured in followers, in money?
In street lights, in moments, in cups of coffee. No, sorry. Money's definitely a part of it, but I would say if you're enjoying it and it saves you from having to do a 9-to-5 at a desk job where you don't like working for the man, I think you're doing it right. Which is where we get to our first flipping around. And I asked you guys, what is the stuff that you like to watch? What kind of content? What's the genre? What do you guys like to watch?
Daddy porn, of course.
A lot of people actually said that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, thank you. MrKristofer.com. It's important to plug your stuff and other people's stuff. Just plug.
And some of your guys' favorite genres included Hulk Bear saying role play or coach player scenarios.
Yes, Daddy.
Have you been a
Yes,
coach before?
I have. I'm not very good at it. I'm a terrible coach.
Dragon Holly says wrestling is my favorite, especially Naked Combat. And then Naked Combat fan responded, said same.
That is not as sexy as you think. Wrestling takes a lot of work. Exercise and sex at the same time will wear you out.
Being aroused and wrestling, impossible. Because to keep down there, trust me, I've done it before. Strange Daddy says bro porn, where the guys are hanging out and they just, end up having sex. Hey, bro.
Oops.
Hey, bro.
How do you oops have sex?
Oh no, I beat you in Mario Kart and now I'm topping.
Oops, it slipped in.
Kalenza says drawn, meaning they like drawn porn. There's a lot more you can do with it physically and also morally.
Like anime?
Yeah, like animated or like furry porn, drawn imagery.
Wow, I've been doing it wrong. I just have to draw it?
I don't know that you should be drawing it. Blue Jack says, way back in college, I was maybe more amused rather than enjoyed the parody porns that existed. Sometimes it was properly bonkers, like Nightmare on Elm Street, or sometimes oddly technical. I thought the 3D Avatar parody one was mostly good 3D.
Was it an Avatar?
Apparently.
3D? Yeah.
And last but not least, Pupster Colossus Rex says a JOI. You know what a JOI is, right?
A joy?
Which stands
To watch.
for?
Jack off insecurities.
Ecstatus asks, so how much time do creators spend at the gym? Lol.
It depends on the creator. Again, that's the great thing about the fan sites, is they come in every shape and size and fetish. Whereas studio porn, it was just chiseled abs and basically one look.
Back when I was doing studio stuff, I'd be at the gym in the morning to wake up and then maybe the afternoon after I got some personal work done. Nowadays, I go to the gym once a day and I make sure I like how I look, but it's a lot less abs, because that was the one thing you had to have abs back in the day or they wouldn't work with you. I'm always like Fergie. I'm up in that gym working on my fitness.
Like furry?
Fergie.
Oh, Fergie.
In the gym, just working on my fitness.
You
I
ever
thought you were like a furry.
Well, and let's not forget, while sex work is valid work, sometimes it can't always pay the bills. So this next question from Denny says, how do you balance sex work with quote unquote regular jobs?
I think that depends on what your regular job is, because if it's a job that won't allow you to, like if you're doing it on the side and you could get fired for doing sex work, then you're like showing your face. But if you have body tattoos or any identifiable thing on your body, you could be reported.
I would say if you're in a creative field, you're probably okay, but I have a lot of friends that have done like therapist jobs or teaching jobs, and they always had to be either very careful or had to make sure that, it was like summertime and they were doing their job separate from the sex work. There's nothing wrong with juggling the different balls and plates, but as a creative, I was almost always working with people who either worked for themselves when I did studio stuff, or it was someone in a creative field, game design, a writer, or someone that had a bit more openness at their jobs.
I think the underlying of that question is, can you do porn and not be known in your regular life? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think at some point, someone is going to find out and it never goes away. Once it's out there, you can't take it back.
So make sure it's something you want to do, because once the content lives online, just about anyone can find it pretty easily. Which leads us to this next working question, where Dax asks, how do y'all keep it up for so long with all those angles, photos, scene changes, etc.?
Viagra.
Yeah, boner pills, and sometimes it's Cialis, sometimes it's some random pill that they got from overseas that works really well. Don't do the gas station stuff, y'all, please.
No, so that's another example of how it has changed over the days. Back in my day, we didn't have those kind of substances to make you hard. So you would break down, you would go get excited, you come back and shoot it. Then you'd break down, go excited, shoot it. And so it would take all day to shoot. Now you have substances, but that still doesn't guarantee anything because it's based on chemistry. Your mind is the thing that makes you aroused. So you really have to be into the other person you're working with.
For studio stuff, it helps a lot to be into the person that you're working with. Not just because even on a boner pill, you have to be somewhat aroused. But usually it's a 6 to 7 hour day on a studio shoot, and they do like blocking with photos where you don't really need to stay hard for that long. Then they do a break for lunch, then they film, and the filming takes the longest, and then they'll do like after photos if you need to do anything else. But it is a very long studio day. Now, for content creation on the Just for Fans, OnlyFans, you hit start and stop, you can do a shoot pretty easily in 30 to 45 minutes, and you'd have 2 to 3 scenes maybe, depending on how you film it.
And when you're doing your own content creation, you get to pick who you're working with.
Oh yeah.
Whereas studios, they just pair the two of you together and you may not like them.
Over like 7-8 years of doing studio stuff, they always be like, oh yeah, who do you want to work with? Like the scout people, the talent people would
never
always
listen to you.
But they never are able to make it work.
No.
Like they're not magic.
Everyone's got different school, work, family obligations, and getting 2 people in the same spot at the same time is kind of a logistical nightmare.
It's a bit of chemistry. It's a bit of chemistry. Oh, I guess it's chemistry in all ways, technically,
Yeah.
to stay aroused that long. But ultimately, just planning. You gotta plan for your shoot, and you gotta know what you want ahead of time. I find that's really helpful too. Daddy, you ready to flip it around?
And reverse it.
This next question that I have for you guys, what do you prefer, studio or self-made? We've been talking so much about the differences, I was curious what people thought online, and our following had a lot of answers.
Okay.
Scruppy Lobo says, as long as it's well made and it keeps me engaged, doesn't matter if it's studio or creator made.
Okay.
Fair point. Holly P prefers creator and amateur stuff because it's just more creative. You get to see this fun stuff. You get to see the niche content. Cobalt says amateur because it's definitely the way to go. The studio stuff feels fake and it's just a boner killer, ironically. No, I get it though. Sometimes the studio stuff feels fake. It depends, but I prefer indie creator, mostly creator. Like all y'all are saying creator, though Malicious does say studio if it is older. The new stuff seems overly produced in plastic, but apparently the older stuff they really enjoyed. And I think that the old stuff has a bit of grit to it in a nice way.
I think you're talking about the porn I created.
I didn't say, Malicious said it. I think this next one's actually kind of an interesting question. Nemo asks, does all sex work involve nudity in videos and photos?
Yes.
No.
What do you mean no?
Phone operators, people that write erotic fiction,
fine.
audio stories, or audio roleplay, or hypno. None of that needs to get nuded.
Are you even old enough for a 900 number?
A what?
900 number? 900
3 and then
phone
3
lines.
and then 4.
Do you know what I'm talking about? 900 numbers.
Ooh, I'm curious on your take for this next one.
Okay.
Vanna White says, how often is fake sperm actually used in scenes? Is it a last-ditch effort to get the shot, or is it just used for effect?
It depends on if there's the money shot or not.
It really does depend on the production and what they need. Like there are certain scenes where the end goal, the end shot is necessary. Like that's literally, it's man on edge or something like that. That's the point.
They call it the money shot for a reason.
I worked on sets where I was the bottom and the top didn't get off. I still got paid, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get off. And that's not my fault.
Yeah.
He was just like too exhausted. But I've been on a few sets where it either wasn't too much, it wasn't over the top, so they needed to kind of fake some extra liquid, or they wanted like multiple angles to get the shot.
Every studio had their own secret way of making fake cum.
Yeah.
Mine was Cornhuskers lotion and a little cream.
Okay.
We used to fill a condom with the lube, put a little pin prick, put it underneath here, have the member hold it,
Camera.
and then scoop.
Yeah.
Scoop? With scoop. Scoop.
Is that the
It's
technical
like
term?
you squirt and you woot at the same time.
Not
Scooped.
squeeze?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say I've never had to use it. I've never had to fake it, but I know people that have because you're working for 6 hours. You're red in the face, you're overstimulated, you've been going and going and going, and everybody just wants to go home at the end of the day. Like lunch was 5 hours ago and we just want to be done.
And yeah, you don't feel that pressure at all.
Yeah.
As you're the last one to do it. And everyone's just in their mind going,
At Livens, man? We've come to this place.
just blow already, blow. And you're just like,
Trauma.
No, you're doing great.
You're doing great. No.
Oh my God, hurry up. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten at all today.
all the time
You're
in the
doing
world.
so well. What can I do to help? Do you need like a back rub? I can rub your chest? Like what do you need?
A new scene partner?
Dom Daddy Growler says, as a misconception, people think that it's just for the younger peeps. But now that I'm a daddy, I'm getting way more work. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm just as surprised as he is.
Pleasantly, I'm sure.
I was laid off in 2016 from a big studio because they couldn't afford me anymore.
You couldn't afford it!
And I discovered daddies are hot. And so I started my own fan sites, and I was shocked people wanted to see me.
Me too.
I think it was Tumblr. I started putting my images on Tumblr, and my Tumblr took off.
You are old.
Yeah. And I think actually Bluesky and those other apps that started doing the free porn on them really gave way to every different shape and type and fetish to find their own lane.
But if you're going to be doing that, big pro tip, give people teasers, give people the free stuff, but keep the best parts in the paid content.
Yeah.
We're trying to make you guys think about how is someone going to be enticed by that content. Give them a little peek, but don't give them the whole piece.
Yeah, they don't need a 5-minute trailer.
But also treat it like a job. That's the most important thing here that we need to instill is, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's silly. Yes, it's quirky, and you get to have a lot of fun, sexy times, hopefully. But it is still a job if you're not answering emails, if you're not responding messages, if you're not posting regularly, if you're not consistent, if you're not easy and nice to work with. Never work with that person ever again. And on that sex work is work front, Danny says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The biggest myth that I have heard is that sex workers make a lot of money.
I think that depends on who it is and how much they work.
I think that the misconception is fair because a lot of people think you're just getting paid so much money. If you're good at your job, sure. If you're treating it like a job and treating it like work, I think you probably are making a good amount of money that you're able to pay your bills. But that whole like top 5% on insert app, people fight for that just to
I don't know how accurate that is.
Exactly,
either.
It's not. But that's why I always like to say, go support that independent content creator who's making that niche content that you really enjoy. Not only are you going to be a lot more fulfilled because the content's more specific, but those creators, more often than not, will send a little DM or something and be like, thank you so much. Hey, if you want to follow me elsewhere, and they will engage with you and be so appreciative.
And people do like that engagement. That's why they enjoy the fan sites.
Or how about Strange Daddy who asks, for people who work consistently of sexual interactions with others, I'm curious if they enjoy what they do. Like, do they enjoy the sex or do they do what they need to do for $1? Yes. Probably a bit of mix.
So from my experience, there's about 3 different types of models. One, they're in it for the money. They are hustling. They are trying to make the money, and they'll do anything that it takes to do that. 2, ego. They like to be looked at. They like to be told they're looking good. It feeds their ego. And then 3, they purely enjoy it. They're just an exhibitionist that enjoys it and gets off on it, and that is my favorite model to work with.
Why is there always 3 of things?
I don't know.
Flip it around.
I didn't make the rules.
I would say I always enjoyed it. Yeah, it was work, but I was doing it because it was something I wanted to do, and I usually leaned into kink stuff because I wanted to experience those kinks or do something different. But I think a lot of people, they do just look at that bottom line sometimes, and it's $1, but that doesn't mean that they're not enjoying it and not easy to work with.
I also find that there's kind of a 3-year arc till there's a burnout crash.
And how long have you been doing this?
30 years. I burned out and crashed long ago. That's why I do a fun YouTube show instead.
Careful. Samson, when are you available to work next? Are you able to...
The crash is real.
And last but not least today, but I asked you guys, why do you think people dislike porn? I'm curious what your hang-ups might be or what you think other people's hang-ups are. Why do you think people dislike it usually?
Usually they're uptight, super religious, or have issues with themselves that they're projecting onto you.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. Coyote says, because they were taught to hate sex.
Yes.
I was raised Catholic, I can agree with that.
Puritanical.
Yeah. Malicious says, bad sex education, and secondly, bad communication. I think bad sex education does lead to a villainization of porn because in lieu of sex education, people will look at porn and use that as a form of sex education. They'll learn bad habits, they'll learn bad things, they'll learn bad consent, and I think that that can just make it hard for someone to enjoy it, maybe?
Also, I think some people do have childhood trauma where porn triggers them.
Otter says combination of lack of adequate or accurate sex education, schools, religion, pressure, and a general societal stigma. I think stigma is a huge thing that people
Stigma.
tend to project on others.
Stigmata.
No, that's religion, but also still the
Same
problem.
thing.
Don't stick your penis in someone's handholes. Harry Daddy says heteronormativity of society.
But there's
Sometimes.
heteronormative porn as well. So.
There's a reason straight guys don't get paid as much in straight porn, though. I like Metal Mutt, who says, I know plenty of people who will hate porn for anything kink related specifically because they're secretly into something akin or worse. And I think worse there means just more taboo or aggressive. But a lot of people online have their own things that they're into, but they always project their negativity on the one kink that they're not into or that they don't understand.
Don't count out that it could be projection. They may say they don't like porn, but they secretly are doing it.
They're still watching.
They don't want you to know they're doing it.
Or how about Daryl, who says, I don't think that they actually dislike porn. I just think that they claim to dislike it out of the culturally induced shame.
Yeah, self-loathing.
Unadulterated.
Self-loathing, your hair, your face, no clothing.
Let's just say
I loathe it all.
Or last but not least in this specific question, why do people dislike it? Dust Pup says, some see it as a form of cheating and they can't separate love from lust. Oh, have you ever had a partner that got upset for watching porn or getting off without them?
I've had boyfriends break up with me when they found out I did porn.
Oh. And that's their prerogative. They're allowed to do that. Not great. But you don't want to be with someone who's sex negative like that, do you?
No, but I didn't have a choice in it. They broke up with me, but I was fine with it.
You do porn?
Yeah.
Oh
Bye.
my God, yeah. Can't. Gross.
Bye, Felicia.
What's your favorite kind of content to watch?
Bondage. I'm very fetish oriented and I like to see people captured.
What? My favorite kind is usually independent bondage, hypnophiles usually, or like, nice audio, and pup play stuff, yeah. So what do you prefer, studio or creator?
Both, but I like fan site content just a little bit more.
Okay, I can agree with that. I've got some old studio spank banks that I've saved on my hard drive that I go back to every once in a while, and nostalgic, it feels nice to watch again.
You disgusting outsider.
But I do like the freshness of the new creators that come onto the scene.
Also, kink studio porn has better sets.
Yeah.
They have better dungeons and equipment that you don't see in fan site creators.
No, in the fan site creators, you see the little pile of clothing in the corner.
Yeah, I hate that. That
their
drives me
uncoiled
crazy.
robe, or
That drives me crazy. If I can see your plushies on your bed, you've lost me.
And that's what we're gonna call it today. Daddy, what did you think of today's conversation?
Well, I like doing this because this is the #1 thing people ask me when I tell them I've directed porn. People are very curious about the process, and people have this not realistic expectation of what goes into shooting porn and how it's created and
Oh my God, the fantasy and the reality doesn't match?
yeah.
And what was your favorite question today?
Obviously the one that said daddies are the hottest.
I liked Icky Ricky's question asking who the hell even pays for it anymore? Not because of the question, but because it shows the power of community. There are so many fun, kinky weirdos online that just want to support someone that's creating content that makes them feel good. And I like that. It's the creator economy, and as a creator, it just makes me smile.
And I like that because it feeds me.
Oh, okay. And it pays bills. That's very,
So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Support me all you want.
Yeah. But if you'd like to support us on YouTube or in the bedroom, I think it's always important to have a safe word. And today's safe word is...
Cut. Action.
And further, if you'd like to support us, go check out today's sponsor, Beducated, who's making sure our lights stay on and teaching us one lesson at a time using that QR code on screen or the link down below. Thank you, Beducated.
And if you'd like to ask us any other questions, you can do that down below.
If you like ringing bells, you can ring that
Cut.
bell.
I need that a second time, please. The pause was too long. You looked into the camera.
And if you like ringing bells, ring that bell.
But don't forget to subscribe. And we will see you all next time.
Bye!
Have you ever had a when the end shot, when the money shot's happening and something disastrous happens?
Yes. I've had a light fall out of the ceiling.
And you're just now telling us that story? That's crazy.
It's a mask.